Hi, this is Kurt Barone, and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
Absolutely. So today we're going to start in Indiana, and we're going to deal with a claim by an EMT of gender discrimination over discipline imposed upon her that was not in equal seriousness, severity to other males. So again, this is just what we have is just a complaint. We haven't seen yet the response back from the department, I think, although that should be here soon. And here's basically what happened. Not complicated facts. The female, just to sum this up, the female tested positive at a breathalyzer for alcohol while at work. She was randomly tested pursuant to a random drug testing policy, which, as we all know, are themselves challenged often, whether it was really random or not, but that's not the claim here. And she, just to make this really simple, she is given a number of requirements to complete. But most important to me, as I look at this, is that the chief says, who's a male, said this is going to be under a new way of doing things, basically. And this is the first time they're under his administration. They're going to pursue these methods of reacting to somebody who fails a breathalyzer. But apparently, or allegedly, he makes a comment that we're going to make an example of her. Now, just to comment, I don't see a problem with that statement because it, has nothing to do with her as a female. You could have said that about anybody. But in short, what happens is she's given a series of requirements to complete, including a significant number of breathalyzer tests, which the complaint seems to call as random breathalyzer tests. I don't think those two things go together. So I don't know whether it's random or not when you say we.
Not really random if you're the only one. It's random in terms of time. It's not random in terms of who's going to go.
Right. So. But allegedly, that's what says you can do a number of random breathalyzers. But here's the short part. She's given 144 hours of discipline when she comes back. Yet two other males also failed the test, and they were given 23 hours of unpaid leave, right? Treated allegedly much less severely. So look, if these allegations are true, then on its face, she makes out a claim of gender discrimination. On the other hand, as we know, right, the employer gets to come back with, no, these circumstances are different. And a lot of times, why I always tell people, don't read a complaint and freak out. There's always something more. Who knows? Maybe she had a history. Maybe there was other things with other discipline, etc., with the males that she didn't know. Maybe.
Let me throw this one out because I read through the complaint and it refers to her repeatedly as EMT. Doesn't say firefighter EMT. Refers to her as EMT. And if she is in fact an unsworn, like civilian EMT, and not a firefighter, I know Indiana doesn't have collective bargaining, but in the event, or maybe no, I don't think they do. But in the event that let's say the males are at the males are not at will, and she is an at-will employee, and she's really under, a separate analysis, that may be a defense. I'm not saying it would win because you still got to explain why are you giving these people this penalty, and for the same infraction, you're giving other people this penalty. Now, if there's collective bargaining, I think in a collective bargaining jurisdiction, you may see something like that, but certainly on the face of it, it's pretty problematic. I would also recommend folks read the complaint. It's got some interesting things in there about the way that they did the test, which I think is a good way to do it. They have a breathalyzer on site, and then if you fail that, you're not guilty. It's just that means you got to go now for a more exacting complaint test, and that's important because for fire departments to try to maintain the calibrations on these instruments, you don't want to do that. So that gives you probable cause. You took the fire department's breathalyzer, it showed that you were, not zero. Something's up. You go now for, you go to a place that actually does this on a regular basis, has calibrated machines and so on. That part of it makes a lot of sense.
And I got to tell you, I liked it because when I was fire chief of my department, which was, unionized, at least a career, one of the things I worked out with the union was to address the situation that drug testing takes 2 days to come back. And I would have to pay, right? I would have to pay these individuals and plus overtime. So I'm like, listen, we're sending way too many people for drug tests that aren't coming back quickly enough for just minimal reasons. They hit a mailbox, they cut their face, whatever. So what I worked out is we found these cups, these tests called ICUP, cups. It's really funny, but they're very cheap.
And somebody beat you to that product?
Yeah, amazingly. Yeah, that was somebody else's idea. And it's probably a fifth grader who owns it. But it's ICUP, but they're cups and they're drug tests. And they're very accurate. And so what I worked out with my union, right, because this is a negotiated issue, is they would have two options. They could either go to the hospital directly and that was our drug testing agent, or they could take this drug test and by peeing in the cup. If it is positive, we throw it away. There's no record of it whatsoever. And we put down their choice was to go to the hospital, no record whatsoever. Or if it was negative, which almost always was, then they come right back and we record a negative test. So we remove the probability that, they're going to come back positive. Our union liked it. Our village liked it. It was a good way. So I liked seeing this because I thought it was very similar to something I had done.